We're just two guys with one mission, and we've chosen to accept it for some reason. It's time to tell them what we mean, what we say.
And we're back.
Hello everyone, welcome to Fuck Off Hollywood.
Hi.
We just watched Island of Death from the 70s.
When was it from? Let's find out. Let's get some deets.
You're gonna get so much accuracy going on.
76.
1976.
It's 1 year younger than me.
It's 1 year younger than... Yeah.
What's 0.75?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So this is it's a movie.
It's it definitely classes as a movie. Some things happen. It's joyless. It's so unenthusiastic. It's unreal.
Yeah, it's
considering it's about two spree killers.
Yes,
it's the most unenthusiastic spree killers. She's like, yeah, we did that. Oh yeah, we did that. And then we did this.
And it's I'm gonna go with it's badly paced and poorly made.
Yeah. It's everything you don't want in a movie.
Yeah, it's but
apart from soundtrack's good.
It's not. It's definitely. There's a lot to discuss. I feel like
it's definitely interesting.
It's both interesting and boring at the same time.
Yeah, which is quite a feat.
Yes, it's impressive.
It is impressive that they. Yeah, fuck. God.
So this is a Greek film made by Nico Mastorakis. I hope I pronounced that right. Sorry, everyone, if I did not. But I'm not that sorry, I guess.
Oh, depends how woke you want to be right now. That's how I would pronounce his name. I
don't think being woke is like...
Doesn't it cover everything these days?
Yeah. No, it covers things that people don't like. If I go...
They might not like the way you pronounced his name.
If I go into a Chinese restaurant and I go, okay, I don't know how to say that, I don't want to upset the person, I'm just going to say, I would like number 20.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh, you're so woke.
Oh, you're so woke. You could have just said, Shanghai, beef noodles.
And then just got an eye roll from the waiter.
And then just got knifed. Fuck you, my mother was a saint.
You've got like I've had it happen when I've been with friends when I've been in Germany.
Okay.
And I've been in a restaurant, I've been in a Thai restaurant, and I certainly don't know how to speak any Thai.
No.
But they number everything in the restaurant, and I've been with people who are not who've not spent a lot of time there,
right.
And then I order in German the number of the thing I want, and people look at you kind of funny. They're like,
why did you do that? Well, I can't pronounce that word, but I can pronounce that number.
Yeah. Because I want to blend in,
yeah,
and don't want to get a big curly turd on my rice.
The Cleveland steamer on my rice.
Yeah, that's like. I mean, it might happen anyway because there's just like a tourist.
Yeah, well, that's the worst.
Speaking of tourists,
so that's how much we liked this film. We've clearly gone on a tangent already. So plot-wise, go for it.
A couple go to Mykonos, the island of...
So we're saving that bit.
Yes, we're saving that.
Okay.
A couple go to Mykonos, this Greek island.
Yeah. Find
a place to stay.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of hanging out. And then it turns out that the fella, Chris...
Yeah, sure.
Chris?
Sure, why not?
He's got some hang-ups about morality.
Yeah.
But then, pretty early on, there's a turn. He comes on to the girl, Celia. They're sharing a bed together. And when she spurns his advances, he goes outside, finds a goat, has sex with it, and then kills the goat.
Yes.
And then you're going...
Okay, I'm in.
Then they start a killing spree across the island. Who gets killed next? It's the homosexual couple. They get invited. At dinner, they meet a painter.
Yeah. A house painter, not an artist, as he claims himself to be.
He says he's an artist, but he's just painting houses.
He's just painting houses.
Who takes a liking to Celia, the girl.
Yeah.
But
Chris is off taking photos of, I don't know, landscapes or some shit at that point.
Well, Chris
has wandered off
introduced Celia to... Chris generally introduces Celia as his wife.
Yes.
But when they meet the painter...
Says cousin.
He says cousin. So the painter and Celia go off to have some, flirting times.
Some private time.
They have sex. Chris documents the whole thing.
Yes, via photography.
Via photography. And then they crucify him with nails.
On the floor.
On the floor, while Celia takes pictures of the murder.
Yes.
They're really into documenting their crime.
Yep.
Then they get invited to a gay wedding.
Yep.
Or was it a gay engagement party, right?
I suppose
they weren't getting... They said it was like an engagement party.
I suppose, yeah. I mean, one...
They were going to announce they
one
were
of
getting
them
married.
calls the other one my bride.
So
yeah, maybe
that would
was
be...
the wedding?
I don't think it was the wedding. I think it was an engagement party.
Okay.
I think we were talking about coronavirus at this point because...
very probably, because his thumb's boring his balls.
Yeah, but it's also quite fascinating.
Yeah. It's amazingly done.
And then Chris, who, let's face it, has previously just had sex with a goat and then just crucified a man...
For having sex with his cousin
slash wife, decides that homosexuality is a sin, and he's got to punish them because he's God's weapon against all the scum, as he calls it.
Sure.
Like,
are we making that up, or
no?
Was that
he said that in the thing.
Oh, he did.
He said, "I am God's weapon."
Oh, okay.
He basically is like Judge Judy and executioner. Yes, I said that. And he's got weird morals.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, fundamentalist morals.
Yeah, but also they're kind of odd.
They're kind of skewed
for a man who's both a murderer
and a bestiality fanatic.
Yeah, someone else says that.
Bestialist?
Bestialitist? Bestat.
Goat fucker.
Goat fucker.
Goat fucker.
Oh.
Right, so they go over to the gay couple's house.
Yeah, they creep in. Celia takes photographs. Chris brandishes a sword, which causes one of the couple to pass out.
He might have hit him with it.
Oh, you might have hit him with it, but it's very unclear.
We were making jokes at the time, but on screen it looks like he's either hit him with the butt of the knife...
Yeah. Or he's just showed it to him.
Or he showed it to him and he's passed out.
At which point the other man runs out.
Yeah. There's a prolonged chase through the streets of Mykonos, at the end of which he shoots it? No, he stabs him with the sword. He stabs
him with a sword, yeah. Chris stabs the guy with the sword. And then we cut back to the other guy who passed out.
Yeah, he's woken up now.
Celia wakes him up by kissing him and touching him. Yeah. Because he's naked at this point.
Yeah.
She pulls out a gun and says, "Don't worry, it's just a toy." He begins filleting it.
Yeah.
And then, next thing I know, there's a bang, and then there's a splatter of brains.
Brain on the wall, yeah. And then they say, "Well, that's brilliant. It's staged exactly like you would stage a murder-suicide."
Yes. And it's like, and
that's how all marriages end, as he says.
Yes, it's all marriages end in a murder-suicide.
Is that true? Write in the comments below.
Yeah.
Have you murder-suicided after being married?
Yeah.
Let us know.
I'd be thinking, do a Reddit Ask Me Anything. Yeah. I did a marriage murder-suicide. And this is what happened. Ask Me Anything. AMA. Go on Reddit. Go on Reddit and post a meme.
Yeah.
Go on Reddit. Go on Reddit and read the r/Island of Death.
Yeah. Go on r/murder-suicide.
R/suicide, marriage, murder-suicide.
Yeah, you Reddit twats. Fuck Reddit. I don't understand Reddit at all.
It's like a big forum.
I know, it's just twats though, isn't it?
I don't know. I imagine...
I've only been on there like 4 times.
You said you didn't know what it was.
No, I know what it is.
I'm going to have to cut this out because now you just...
Yeah. No, I know what it is.
Alright. I think we've missed a crucial point. There is a black guy who's chasing... Oh, fuck, yeah. At one point, they go to a telephone booth. Chris calls his mother and then has sex with Celia in the telephone booth whilst his mother listens.
Okay.
Which I guess comes back into play later. And then his mother calls this guy called Foster, who...
I'm going to assume private detective?
He's like a private detective who gets on he basically spends the next 20 minutes walking
across an airport. Yeah.
Celia has a dream where a guy assaults her and then wakes up and goes, "Oh, I'm so scared."
Yeah.
Chris has a dream, a kind of fantasy dream about this lesbian bartender.
Yeah.
And then goes over to her house, watches her have sex with another woman, and then
do some smack.
Does nothing.
Does she do some smack then, or did she do some smack later?
Yeah, smack was later.
Okay.
Then Chris decides that the relationship between himself and Celia is in a rut, and he suggests that he should go have sex with the older lady of the town.
Yeah.
And
is that the right order? Yes.
Yeah.
It's the middle-aged lady before the lesbians.
Yes.
Right.
It's the middle. Like he's gonna have sex, and then Celia's gonna watch through the windows and take photographs, which Celia is kind of into.
Yeah, she is.
He goes over to her house, and she starts talking that she's gonna pay him. I guess she just pays younger men for sexual favors.
Yeah.
And then he takes all his clothes off, and then proceeds to take a big piss all over her.
Yeah.
Which immediately she's like, "Oh, what are you doing?
This is gross," but actually...
But then she gets into it.
Super into it.
And then she calls him a good boy, and then he starts slapping her around.
Okay.
And then...
Because I didn't understand the phone call to the mum earlier on, so that seemed like a real weird leap of calling him a good boy and then him freaking out and just started beating her around a bit.
Well...
So maybe that's like a mother thing.
No, I don't know.
No?
No, I don't know about that. I don't think anything connects to anything. Anyway, she falls from the bed. He smashes her head on the floor.
Yeah.
Right? And then they decide to take her outside and then decapitate her with a bulldozer.
Yeah, which was fucking sweet.
Oh!
That was real good.
I think we did do it in the wrong order. Foster finally gets on a plane over to the...
Oh, yeah. Foster's before the middle-aged woman.
Yeah, Foster gets over to... And then
spends some more time walking across another airport.
And then there's a chase... And then
there's a chase that ends up with him somehow with a noose around his. They go back to the airport.
Yeah, he goes. They go. Chris and Celia go to the airport.
Yeah.
He goes back to the airport. It's not really clear why. Chris jumps out, puts a noose over his head, and then starts the plane because he can James Bond anything and drive any vehicle.
Yeah, absolutely.
At this point, you had this theory about.
About the Greek filmmaker and his hatred of foreigners coming into his country and polluting his society with all the social ills of the particular nations that they've come from.
Yeah, so either so it was difficult to work out whether
this is social commentary.
Who is the bad guy? Like, who is supposed to be the bad guy?
I'm pretty sure it's Chris and Celia.
Chris and Celia, yes, but pretty much everyone they kill is not Greek.
Yeah, because even the main homosexual guy is American.
Oh, the other one might have been Greek. Yeah,
the twink.
I thought twinks had to be blonde.
No, I think they just have to be young
and slender.
Yeah.
Leave a comment in the comments.
Yeah, are you a twink? Let us know.
Let Steve know.
Yeah. Anyway, so Foster gets hung.
Yeah.
Then they go to the
middle-aged lady
piss, bulldozer. The bulldozer kill is pretty sweet, though. I haven't seen that before, I don't think.
Then what? Then they kill the lesbian. Then they go for the lesbian.
Then they go for the barmaid.
No.
Sure.
When do they kill the hippies?
Ooh.
We literally just watched this.
No, that's after the barmaid.
Okay.
Because they seem so fucking tacked on, it's unreal.
So they kill the
lesbian barmaid.
The lesbian barmaid by giving her...
Because she's a lesbian and she's into drugs.
Yeah. Celia goes over to seduce the lesbian barmaid. The lesbian barmaid shoots up some heroin.
We've also missed the woman that they killed because she was sleeping with somebody who's not her husband.
Did they kill her?
Pretty sure they did. Because she's evil. She's evil. He got super pissy about that when they saw them through the window.
Oh, but that's after this.
No, that's way before.
No, that's the last kill before they run off. The woman who's having a shower.
Oh, yeah, maybe that is her. Yeah, okay. I just assume because there's the wacky photo sound edit points in the film. I just thought it was kind of like, we're done with that.
I'm very.
Maybe that is the same woman then.
I'm very surprised the fact that we literally just watched this
and we have no idea what happened.
And we can't piece together what happened in our minds.
Well, again, it's so badly edited. Like, there's literally bits of like the plane being in the sky when they're hanging Foster.
Yeah.
And then one shot of it coming into land, and then the next shot of it being up in the air and they're still hanging Foster.
Yes.
So the editor, I assume, was drunk at the wheel.
Well, I think it's because it's cheaply made.
Also that. And he's probably just looking like, there's a shot with the plane in it, I'll just put that in there.
So, yeah, Celia is seducing the lesbian girl. The lesbian girl has a bit of like a nap because of her heroin dose. Chris breaks in, forces a bottle of like a bunch of whiskey down her throat, and then
gives her some more drugs.
Gives her a hot shot, and then burns her face off with an aerosol can.
Yeah.
Then, during a very stormy day, Chris says he's going to go fishing, and Celia says she's going to go for a swim. And then two hippies overhear this and they decide that they're going to assault her.
Yeah.
She's having a bath, and then they break in.
And attempt to rape her in the bath.
Chris hears the screams.
Yeah.
Harpoons one guy.
Yeah.
And then drowns the other guy in the toilet.
Yeah.
Then Chris tries to kill the landlady. It was the landlady, right? They're renting the house of.
Oh, the woman who stood with her hose.
Yes.
Yes.
When she's having a shower, but then she escapes, and then the cops are after them.
Yes. Cops finally arrive. 10 murders in.
They run like
so they do a runner into the countryside.
Yeah.
Across a giant landfill.
And then they meet this simple farmer.
Yes.
Who doesn't speak.
Yes.
Who offers them shelter and food.
Yes.
Then the next day...
First thing in the morning,
the simple farmer comes into the little hut that they're staying in, starts
raping Celia. Chris starts waking up.
He starts taking photographs.
Yeah.
The simple farmer decides that there's something wrong here, and then decides to rape
beats the shit out of Chris to unconsciousness, and then rapes Chris. Celia's super into this.
Yeah.
So they then have sex.
No.
Oh, he takes Chris
and throws
him into a lime pit.
Yeah.
Which somehow he ends up half buried in.
Yes.
Up to his waist.
Then, all of a sudden, Celia's into the simple farmer.
Yeah.
And while they're making love, it starts to rain, and he starts to dissolve.
Yes.
And then the film ends.
Yes.
I know we've made this joke that the film just ends.
It literally just ends this time.
This is just what happens.
Yeah.
And that's Island of Death. It's a confusing, poorly made...
Yeah. But you would think with all that amount of...
action...
Yeah. Quotation action in it, there's an exciting film to be made out of that. This is not it.
No. I'm not sure you could remake this.
No. There's too many things that are kind of triggers nowadays.
I don't think it's about that. I just think it's because there's no point to it.
No, it's literally... I mean, the description on IMDb is perfect. A couple of perverted maniac killers get loose on a Greek island. Duh. And that's it.
Like, I would be curious about the subtext.
Yeah. There is a possible subtext there because there is the quote-unquote sinners that they're killing. So are they doing some sort of righteous work?
Or are they just mad?
Are they just maniacs?
Or is it just an excuse for loads of TNA and violence?
Yeah. I will go with the third one. I think that's all this is. It's done, like I say, joyless, meandering, boring. Even the performances, like the so-called maniacs, are just
badly acted.
Are so matter of fact. They're just going, we did that. We did that.
We forgot a crucial point.
Oh, the old switcheroo.
The old switcheroo.
The old switcheroo. So after he's been thrown into the lime pit,
and he's pleading with Celia for his life.
Help me.
I'm your brother.
I'm your brother.
So they were brother and sister the whole time, which makes when he called his mum even worse.
Yeah, I'm having sex with your daughter, my sister, on the phone to you. Yeah, that was quite shocking. I mean, there's a hand gesture that was the best bit of the entire movie that we can't recreate for an audio
but maybe we
podcast.
Can throw up a picture.
Yeah, let's try and do that.
You can throw up a picture of...
When somebody gets asked the directions to the beach, he comes up with the greatest way of explaining it ever.
Yeah, and then he does it again. And then he does it later. He kind of ruins it.
No, I don't think so.
I think the first time was so unexpected.
I think doubling down on
this is the other thing.
Just made me understand that it's a choice. It wasn't just some random thing that he did. Because I think he does it 3 times.
And this is the other thing. It's quite funny.
That?
The movie's quite funny, but I don't.
Is it?
But for weird reasons.
Yeah, for all the wrong reasons.
Like, when the director turns up as the novelist, and his performance is so bad.
So bad.
I ended up laughing quite a lot. Yeah. I laughed at the weird hand gesture of one of the hippies.
Yeah.
And I laughed when the the simple farmer, after raping Chris, before farted on him.
VA did fart on him, yeah. Oh, God, there was also something else I can't remember. I mean, there's just some bits that are just like kind of like...
Well, the
what the fuck?
Yeah, the murder-suicide thing. Like, his reasons are like, going, all marriages end in murder-suicide. How long... Your parents are married, right, yeah. Steve? Have they murder-suicide?
No murder-suicide yet, but it's only maritime.
I mean, I don't want to tempt fate, because when I go see them this afternoon, it would be...
What if you walk into a scene of carnage?
It would be really weird if I walk back and there'd be murder-suicide. I really hope that this is not what happened. We laugh about it.
Who do you think would do which?
With my parents.
Yeah, because I think my mum murders my dad and then suicides.
If my mum murdered my dad, she wouldn't suicide.
You'd be like, finally.
No offence.
Done and done.
No offence.
So yeah, that was Island of Death. Should we score it out?
Yes.
I think we've covered everything.
Did we cover the fact that this is not very good? It's both fascinating and not fascinating. We definitely covered that.
I think so. But just in case we didn't, this was both fascinating and fucking boring.
Okay, what would you give it for story, Steve?
Well, there's barely any story, is there? That literally covers it. It's a couple turn up to an island and crimes ensue.
Yeah, I mean, there's almost... There is...
There's no real arc to it. There's no purpose to it. There's no arc to it.
Well, there's kind of like crime
They almost try and
ironic...
introduce Foster. And then he literally spends 20 minutes getting there, and then
there's killed. No point for the thing. But I think that goes into the sense category. I think like the basic story is one of like ironic punishment.
Yeah. It's just like 7
out of 5.
No, the film 7, you dick. Or C7N was it actually written?
C7N.
C7N 2, I guess.
I think.
There is a story, but it's not...
Yeah, I was thinking 2 for me as well.
It's not elaborate, it's not... Yeah, interesting. So yeah, got 2.
Gore.
Well, there wasn't really much, but the brain splatter looked good in the murder part of the... No, the suicide bit of the murder-suicide. The head getting chopped off looked pretty good. There's a nice little spur onto the blade of the bulldozer. But this wasn't a fulci. It wasn't like close up. It wasn't like not at all. It wasn't great. It wasn't really. It was. It just happened. I mean, the neck slashing on the goat looks quite good, but at the same time, it's not like graphic. It's just there's a pool of blood with a goat in it, and he's pulling the knife across. 2 again, then I guess. There was some. I'm going to go even lower. I'm going to go for a 1. I mean, it didn't look like shitty paint when you did see it. Yeah, but it also like it's not a gory movie. No, it's like more sleazy than gory. Oh, much. And so, I think that can make the violence seem worse, but it's not Flowers of Flesh and Blood. No. Yeah, 1 or 2. So I'm going to give it a 1. I'm going to err on the positive and say 2. All right. Just because what there was didn't look terrible. So, for creativity, Now I think this might be quite a high score. I agree. Because actually, within the context of an incredibly boring movie, it is fascinating. I don't know if you mentioned that. So actually, I'd probably go for 4, because, like, modes of death, like I say, like the bulldozer, I've never seen that before. Yeah, and also, like, quite interesting. There was, like, it didn't look like shit. No. It looked like a movie. It was... For 1976, and what I'm assuming quite a low budget, it's all on screen. Yeah, and there's lots of interesting camera angle choices, especially like during the chase scene when he's chasing the gay guy with the sword. There's lots of like fisheye lens stuff going on. And let's face it, the guy had to sit down and think about this and write it down. Yeah. Now I know that shouldn't really be a criteria. And then this happens. And then this happens. And then this happens. There's no thread to string it all. I mean, the thread that strings it all together is very bare. Yeah, it's just. But I think it is like. Also, I've never seen someone being decapitated by a bulldozer. No, exactly. And I don't think I've ever seen a sex scene where an old lady gets urinated on. No. In a mainstream movie. No, and I've never seen somebody crucified to the floor. So there's a lot of stuff we didn't. Ticked a lot of boxes. I think I'll go for a 4. I agree. I'm going to give it a 4 as well. Sense. Almost none. I mean, It doesn't make any sense. Why do they claim to be married at some point and then cousins at some point when actually they're brother and sister? Is that just to string the audience along? And if so, why?
Yeah, it's like a twist that doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. Why they're killing people doesn't make any sense. Well, I guess it kind of does if the logic is that it's this writing sins kind of angle.
Yeah, the why.
But we're making that out of nothing.
Well,
we're assuming
he says that it's like,
or you say he's the righteous hand or whatever.
Yeah, and this island is for the innocent, and all this influence. Like, I think that's the thesis of the movie. In which case, it's like,
well, then it's a fuzzy logic, which kind of makes sense, I guess. If you look at it from their point of view, from a certain point of view, the Jedi are evil. If you look at it from Chris and Celia's point of view, and they're righting perceived wrongs, then I guess it kind of does make sense.
No, it still doesn't make any sense as a story, as a movie.
Do you not think?
No, because why reveal any of this stuff? I think.
No. I mean, it makes slightly more sense than if it's just two random people turn up on an island and just start randomly killing people.
But that's the plot of the movie, Steve. I'm gonna give it a 1.
Yeah, I think 2 might be too generous. Yeah, let's go with 1s.
Music.
Now, I really liked the music, even though I'd say 80% of it is kind of faux goblin shenanigans.
I disagree with that assessment.
Why?
Because I'm closer to a musicologist than you.
Fair enough.
And I'd say it's not faux goblin shenanigans.
It sounds kind of goblin-y to my ear.
Yeah, no, I think it's just kind of folky. It's folk rock.
Yeah. But it's slightly proggy in the kind of, if you took like the kind of Dawn of the Dead type stuff,
yeah, but
and played it with kind of proggy instruments.
But it wasn't as rocky as Dawn of the Dead. It was more like a Greek Wicker Man soundtrack.
Okay.
But
there are a couple of songs on there that are fucking dope.
Yeah, full disclosure...
Get the sword!
Full disclosure, I released the soundtrack for this movie on my record label.
Which I'd just like to say, I didn't know before I started praising the songs.
And I hadn't seen this since I was 21, so it's been like 19 years since I've seen this movie. And I'd forgotten how much other music was in the... film, and now I feel like I let people down a little bit. That we didn't
put it on CD.
We didn't try to get all the cues, because it seems like there's more that but the director only gave us 2 cues, like the main 2 songs. But there's actually a lot more, and I don't know why we don't have those. So sorry, I would try harder, but also running a record label is hell. I like the soundtrack a lot, otherwise I wouldn't have released it.
Yeah.
I would probably go as high as a 4. 4 for you?
4 for me too.
4 for you.
Mostly based on those 2 songs, because those 2 songs are really, really good. I would listen to those, maybe as a little bit of a jape, but I would listen to them in my normal rotation, especially Get the Sword, which was excellent. If you don't know what we're on about, go to jellodisco.com and buy the...
You can go to jellodisco.com.
Thanks. Doing an advert read.
Yeah. It is Jello Disco. I own that.
Yeah. You should go there and buy the 7-inch. You've got a record player, right? Hipsters.
Alright, for a final score of 25 out of 50.
Oh.
Right down the middle, which weirdly is almost exactly what the IMDb score is.
Yeah, right. They're on a 5.1. I don't know how I feel about that. Because it's not... I don't know, is it kind of...
I think it's better than a lot of shit we've seen.
Definitely.
But it's also...
Definitely, but I think it's scored higher than some things that I would probably watch again before watching this again. I don't think I'll ever watch this again.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
What I will say is that I think this is for the last episode discussion.
Yeah, we'll get all the scores together.
We'll get all the scores together, and then we'll work out whether we were right or wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the heat of the moment, and then we'll.
Yeah, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to do it all in the heat of the moment, and not judge it based on other films and other scores and things like that.
Yeah,
I think that not knowing the other scores for the other films actually works better.
Yeah, because then we're just going off instinct.
Yeah.
And it's not as if we hadn't seen a lot of these movies before, and we don't watch a lot of...
You've seen a lot more of these than I have.
And we didn't... I mean, we also seen a lot of shit, because when we used to go down Cash Converter on Saturday, and just like buy whatever €1 €1 euro £1 DVDs. And then we just watched.
Yeah, we just watch anything.
We've seen both Leslie Nielsen's Bad Golf My Way.
Fucking hell. That reminded me of those. They were so bad. But
what I'm saying is that we've seen some terrible stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not as if we're like going in completely blind to terrible movies. So, would you recommend this movie, Steve?
I would not. It's too boring. Even if you were like into kind of thrill kills and stuff like that, it's just not interesting enough.
I would also not recommend this movie unless you're a pervert, in which case you might get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
All right.
See you
on the next one.
Bye.